I got it.
I
All right.
see record.
Okay, so welcome everybody. Make sure if you're just getting here to mute yourself. We will do so I'm getting really we will do so I'm getting really Is everybody muted now? Yeah. Okay. Because it does that weird feedback if we don't. So just to kind of give you a really quick overview, I know that this is 90 minutes and some of you may be going, oh my gosh, it's past my bedtime. There's a reason why. It's because right now we're meeting at 8 and we wanted to do a few things until 8:30. Cindy and hopefully her husband Scott are actually going live on the Pink Bubble at 8:30, and she didn't want us to miss that little tidbit. I believe it's on goals and some fun stuff like that, especially if she's got Scott on there. I'm guessing that's her topic. And then she's going to hop on with us when that's over. So it might not be till 9:30. It might be 9:15. It might be probably not later. She won't be on probably with us more than 15-20 minutes. She might be done before 9. When I asked her how long she thought the Pink Bubble part was, she said approximately half an hour. So that's the reasoning for that. Really quick, who am I? Because I know some of you know me and some of you don't. I am your executive director. So you may have a director between you and I that's on here. And I know some of them could be on and some of them couldn't. Tracy's on here. She can wave. Heather's on here. She can wave. Tammy is. Heather Beard in Alaska, I know, is going to maybe try to hop on a little bit later. Shannon will not be with us tonight. Anybody that wants to give her hugs and prayers, she actually lost her sister this holiday season. So we're all thinking of her a ton. Gresha could not be on here, and Kristen is sick. So I don't want to talk too long about myself. I want to get going on some stuff. So what are we doing with this call specifically? So besides just Cindy, your directors and I and home office themselves are really pushing a $500 level for those of you that want to earn money. And I'm assuming for most of you, if you showed up today, you want to earn. If you're a shopper and you just want to know all the things, we got you. You're here too. But for the most part, I'm going to guess if you showed up today, you do want to be an earner. And so home office and your directors and I are really gonna steer towards that $500 of like your minimum level this entire year. And what does that look like? What does that mean for you? Obviously, it's a paycheck. So assuming that you put it all in as sales and not marketplace, that's $125 paycheck a month. So I would love to hear in the comments if you would type in, what is that $125 paycheck a month? What would you do with that? What does that look like for you? If you were just hitting that 500, what would you do with that? And I know we're going to see all kinds of things from probably nails to paying a bill, all the things. So how could that help you and your family out? From home office's perspective, they are giving you free product. There is going to be an incentive. They have told us they will be consistent this entire year. So you are going to get something free in your hands every month for hitting that $500. If you're not aware, I know we have marketplace and some new things that are added for shoppers, which are really cool for discounts. But if you're not aware, those of us that want to earn, we really stand true on earning everything for free. I am going to push you to not use marketplace and not pay for things yourself. I'm not saying you can't. If you have the money and that's what you want to do, you do you. But for those of you that are truly here to make money, I don't want to see you spend money. I want to see you earn it free and get a paycheck. Okay. So that's why I want you to hit that $500 level. So you're getting whatever 31 is giving you. They're pretty strategic about it. A lot of times what they're giving you is going to be some type of special later, whether that's an insider special or a customer special. I don't know all of that either, but they're pretty good about it. Or they just know it's going to be a hot item, right? Like you need to have it in your hands. So not on this call, but we are going to, what are we going to do for you with your $500, how to get you to the $500 club, basically is what we're calling it. So we are going to have a special $500 club. So in addition to earning that product as a team, as a Lineage, we're going to have a call like this. We're really fortunate that Cindy offered to kick this off for us because she is really pushing this for executive directors and above to do. And because I embraced it, she was like, heck yeah, Danielle, I'll be there for you. So she's going to come tonight and chat with you guys, but we're going to have a guest speaker, not as big as Cindy, but super big still every single month if you hit your $500. It's only going to be open to those of you that hit $500 in the previous month. We're not doing this for the entire lineage. We want to spoil those of you that worked hard, okay? I can already tell you for this month, so February's first one, it's going to be Hope Short from Home Office. She's the first person I asked. If you guys don't know her, she was an NED with 31 before for several years. She works for Home Office, and quite frankly, she's amazing. I see some of Tammy and Heather and the directors and Tammy and Heather and Tracy all smiling because she's a rock star. She gets stuff done and she's really good. So you're going to have that call with her. And in addition, your directors and I, when we know you just want to be in this club, so if you haven't told us already that you want to be in the $500 club or you haven't commented on any of the things, please reach out to your director or I, because we're going to work with you as well. We're going to work on showing you how to do fundraisers, for instance. I know that was a hot item asked today, and clubs and anything we can do to help get your business more consistent so that you're not feeling like you're begging for parties and working for parties. Okay. So that's number one thing that we're going to do as a team. We're going to have that fun call, and it's going to be home office people. It's going to be top in the business. So I didn't really tell you that. It's going to be, other executive directors and higher. It's going to be people who are top in PB in the company and top in PCAS, all the things, right? Like I've been doing this for 11 years. A couple of the ladies on here have been doing it for 10 years and 8 years and 6 years and all kinds of things. So we've gotten to know a lot of people. So I have a lot of friends that will, if I go train for them, they'll come train for me. So it's super fun that we're going to be doing that. Second of all, if you did not already, so shout out below. I know some of you were really talking about what the $500 would do for you in the comments. Now I want to hear, like, are you even more excited? Like, are you excited about 31's product every month? Are you excited about our special club? I see some of you saying you want in. So make sure your leaders know that, because not all of your leaders are on this call either. So make sure that they know that too. Okay, next up, one other thing that we're going to do, we're going to kind of sweeten the deal, and this one we're going to push you a little bit harder. So since 31 is already spoiling you with product, I didn't want to spoil you too much, because I'm always told, right, like, you guys got to want it, you got to earn it, but we want to help you, and I want to help hold you accountable. And so some of you may have saw the bracelet incentive already, and you'll see that there's some different things that you have to do. It's not just as simple as the 500. I don't think we're asking way too much more, but we are asking a little bit more. So those of you that hit your 500 and you do what's called your connected contacts. Now, we kind of threw that term out there, and some of you that have been around for a while, you know what connected contacts are, you're on it, you're ready to go. But we realized some of you in the past year or so, we've really not talked about connected contacts a ton as a lineage. So we're going to make sure that you get the training for that, and I'm not going to get into that right now, but just know it's us guiding and helping you message organically and good and have conversations, right? It's not going to be just you blasting out a bunch of messages and nobody returning. So that's another thing that your directors and I are going to work really hard with you, is to help you get those connected contacts, to help you get out of your circle and help you stretch where to find those. Okay. So more details on those, again, reach out to your director, reach out to me, comment on the bracelet thing if you don't know what those are. And then lastly, I know this one sounds like it's not a big deal, but it's really, really important, and that is your participation. So by showing up here today, that already shows me that you are pretty committed. We need you to be committed in that lineage page as well. And there's a couple reasons why. I mean, one, I'm going to be super honest, it helps with the algorithms, right? If you participate, other people will participate, and quite frankly, Facebook will show it to you. I bet a show of hands or in the comments, a lot of you have to come search for this lineage group still, that it's not showing you. Yep, I can see some eyes already. And do you know what the number one reason is why it's not? It's actually because you're not participating. Yeah, I see Michelle making her face, right? And it's okay. I'm not here to scold anybody, but that's how you're going to know what's going on and what you're doing. We're all guilty of it. Your directors even are I could call them out right now, right? Like you could call me out. I'm posting and blasting and I'm not commenting back to you, right? Like, so we all need to make it a fun, happy place to be. Plus, I'll be super honest, as someone who's leading that page alongside of your directors, we don't know if you saw it. And we feel like we're just throwing spaghetti at the wall sometimes if we don't get you responding, right? So we need to know when you have questions and when you don't understand things and that sort of thing. So I'll end that part with, there are a few events that I've added. Really make sure that you're going and commenting on those. And of course, be a cheerleader, celebrate, go on, whenever there are things that are posted and other people are posting what they, their accomplishments, no matter how big or small they are, cheerlead, because everybody loves that, right? Don't you love it when there's something on there about you and everybody says, good job, right? Like that doesn't get old. I know it feels like maybe it does, and it feels repetitive when you're going to congratulate, but people love that. All right. Before I give the call to Tracy, because she's got about 15 minutes, she is gonna bust out one thing that we really want to do. It's a give back. But before I do that, another thing that I did bring back that I really want to focus on is your directors and I are going to be submitting at the end of every month someone that they think really embodied the core values. So for this month, it was purposeful, if I remember right. Does that sound right? Yes. So for January, we're looking for someone who is purposeful all month long. I would love to hear in the comments, even, what do you think purposeful is? I asked that in the events. What in your business is going to make you feel like maybe you're purposeful? I did not say we were doing this in December, but December's word for 31, so there are 12 core values. If you've never looked them up, pop them in the search engine on TOT and you're going to find them all. December's was gracious. And I have someone who I've really wanted to call out for a little bit, who has been a really big cheerleader. And she's actually been embodying what I just talked about with participation on the group very consistently and has not been asked to do so. When I text or send messages or do anything, she is always one of the first, if not, I'm going to be honest, only people who actually responds back sometimes. Again, I'm not here to call anybody out and make the rest of you feel bad. I'm here to celebrate her, and that's Cynthia Trevino. Cynthia Trevino has been so dedicated since she started this business, and her messages back to me are always so sweet too. They're not always just, yep, I saw it. Like, she legitimately asks me how I'm doing and thanks me and tells me how much it's all helping her, and it means so much to me. And I know your directors feel the same way. So I did not reach out to your directors, so she's on my team, but I've been watching it on the Lineage, and I know some of you are in some special groups that you've seen her and worked with her too, so you know that she embodies this. So yay, Cynthia, you're going to be getting a little bit of happy mail from me. I really appreciate you. I can't say it enough. All right, stop in my mouth and handing it over to Tracy, because she's got some. Oh, Tracy, can you show us too, when you start, what they can earn in January? Yeah, no, yep, you do that. You do all the things. You got me. I know you do.
I was just like, I'm looking at our list of what we're doing, and I was like, I didn't butt in because I won't, but here we go. Okay. So Danielle was just sharing about the home office has stuff that we can earn, the new for you incentive when you reach $500 in January. And one piece of it, just one piece, is our super cute, it's called the Canvas Small Square Tote. If you don't have one, holy crowbars, this thing is my new purse. And my youngest daughter was actually like, can I have that? No, well, maybe, because I'm going to earn a new one. So this is one part, and then the other piece is our mini All About the Benjamins wallet. And Danielle, did you see? I wasn't paying attention. Do we get to pick the print, or are we getting we're just getting I know.
That's a good question. I'm not sure. We're going to pretend it's those prints, and I don't hate them personally, but we might get to pick, but it might be those, because they know, again, what prints are going to be amazing. So a lot of times they do that for us too.
Okay.
Really quick shout out, because I didn't say it. You do have to pay for shipping now on these incentives. That was their one thing, and I know that's a little bit of a bummer, but that was their one thing to be able to afford to do this every month for us for the entire year. So I think it's worth it. Don't forget, you can add marketplace and that kind of stuff to it as well.
Okay, sorry, I wanted to mute too, so I didn't give any feedback. But the mini All About the if you have not checked it out, it is so stinking cute. Oh my gosh. In this bag, I've already like been carrying it, so I had to clean it out to show you guys. So I actually love, there's a little loop on the inside that you can snap like your keys or hand sanitizer or something like that. I'm gonna tell you, it is, I think it's a godsend because I'm forever looking for my key fob that has my house keys to it, because I just walk up to my car and push a button on my car and the door unlocks and I get in, and then I push a button when I get in the car. And so like my house keys, I'm like, oh crap, I'm never going to get in the house and I have too much crap. So I love that. I love that. Okay, so I'm going to talk about our give back. Okay, so our Lineage give back that we're doing, I was just making some little graphics and sharing with Danielle, but it's basic, it's I called it Caddies for Seniors, and I hope that it's okay that I named it. But I called it Caddies for Seniors. And just so you know, there will be a training in the Lineage page too that will cover all of this. So don't feel like you have to take notes. Don't stress out about it. I just kind of want to share a little bit with you. So in the past, we have done a give back, multiple give backs. Think about chemo care bags, but these caddies are a great winner for our seniors, and we give them to them a lot. So this is just a random littles carry out caddy that I have, and it is stuffed with socks. I got fuzzy socks from the dollar store, a cute little stuffed animal. There's hand lotion. I've got a couple of like, you know, the little Jeep ducks, right? They're super cute. But I really, a big piece of it is just kind of finding something fun for our seniors so that they don't feel forgotten. So our plan is to collect. I feel like there's somebody that's not muted, but it's okay. Our plan is to kind of collect these through the month of January. And Danielle and I kind of talked about it and planned it out a little, or thought about it in depth, but we've talked about you can get them sponsored by VIPs, other people who would like to help out with your give back, for about $20 a piece. And then any extra money that you get from that, or part of your commission and part of your commission, it's up to you how you want to do that, can be used for like these little filler things that we put in them. Some other ideas for fillers that we have are, like I said, I've got lotion and cozy socks, maybe socks that are not slippery, a fun handheld game. Think paddleball. You know how, I mean, our seniors are really big kids at heart, right? They're great big old kids, and they need to do something fun, and they need to feel loved throughout all of this. And so I think that's a fun idea. But I thought paddleball, maybe another kind of game, color books. I love giving them stuffed animals. And I like to do Sudoku, or even like just something to keep their mind strong, like a word search or a crossword puzzles. You can find those at the dollar store too, nice sized books, but they don't have to be humongous. Lip balm, little fun little headbands. Like, who doesn't want to wear something cute and silly, right? Like, I totally do. I absolutely love to wear silly things like this. And so do our seniors. They think it's hysterical. Now I did, and I put these are on some slides for the training that Danielle and I are going to do. In the outlet sale, we currently have 3 little carry-out caddies. Our neon blue, pink, and that purple are $9.99 right now in the outlet sale. So this is something that you could start right now, and you could get maybe get donations so that you can go in and place an order and utilize those deeper discounts, and then you can use more of the funds that you get to sponsor them. You can use more of those funds to help get filler. There is not in the outlet sale a charcoal crosshatch that's currently $19, or you can bundle 2 and save and get them for $30. Okay, so that's another great way to save and do all of that. This could be a party that you have happening. You know, you use you're gathering these $20, and whether that's via Venmo, somebody wants to send you cash or stop by, that kind of thing. But then I have a picture, and I hope maybe you guys can see it, all put together. Wait, can I see? I can't see. All put together, super duper cute. My daughter um uh put one together and took a picture of it, and then laid all the stuff out. So it will be in the training, but it's super handy to kind of get an example or see an example of what we're talking about. um as I think about how we're going to fill these, there's definitely different ways. I already mentioned the dollar store, but places like Oriental Trading, where you can get big bundles of things at relatively inexpensive costs. You guys, look at these funny little sunglasses. Can you see them? Can you see our seniors over Valentine's Day with a funny little a llama on their face, right? Like something cute. And Danielle, it's hysterical because we were talking about this the other day, and I got this in the mail right after that. I was just
Funny
like,
how that works.
it was just a wink. It was just a wink.
I mean, we
So
know our phones are listening, but apparently the postman is too.
who isn't? Who isn't? But and so just some fun things. Now, as Danielle and I were talking about this, we have two local senior centers to us. We have one in Corona and we have one in Durand, and truly those are local for us. I mean, they're within a 10-minute driving for both of us. But you may not be local to us. And so what I'd like to tell you is you can still participate in this. We're reaching out to those local senior centers, and we're finding out how many residents they have. And then, but you can do the same thing. You can reach out to your local. And okay, so maybe you can't cover everybody, or maybe you find out what that number is and shoot for something very, very close to it, right? And let your VIPs, let your people who are in your circle, if you're on YouTube, share that information that this is what you're doing. There, people will come, literally, they'll come out of the woodwork to help, especially for seniors, right? And I mean, my chemo care bags, I was flabbergasted how many people just were like, wanted to stop by my house and give me stuff to put in it. I had a VIP from New York who crocheted a blanket for me to put in one of my bags. Like, people want to do things, they want to help you. I had another who dropped off a big old box of Tic Tacs, another who dropped off a big old box of hand lotion. It's really, really, it touches people's heart and they want to participate with you. So don't be afraid to share that with your VIPs and encourage any of them to help us out. And the last part that I had was just a reminder that there will be a training shortly in the Lineage page, and that's the end of me. I don't think I went 15 minutes, Danielle.
Good. You did it. You're perfect. That's okay. You're perfect.
Okay.
I just want to add a couple of things, which not much. Tracy did a great job. Don't be afraid of businesses as well. So think about where you're fine. Think about where you're headed, whether you work someplace already, whether you know people that manage or work somewhere. Maybe you're just headed to the hairdresser or your doctor's, right? It's such a great open for you to do this give back and talk about what you do at the same time, right? That's the other beautiful thing about this. Fundraisers and give backs are such a win-win-win. You are truly going to feel so good doing these, right? Depending on how you do it, you may or may not keep your commissions and have that. You may get free product. You may choose to give all of that back. You're still going to feel good, but you're also going to make organic connections. This is one of those ways that you're going to get those connected contacts that we're talking about. And people are just going to see you and respect you and know that you're in this for the right reasons too, right? Like, so many people are in direct sales and not everyone treats it like a fun, happy place that you want to keep doing business with, right? So keep that in mind as you're thinking about this too, and know that any little bit is going to help. Like Tracy said, if you find out there's 200 people at your senior citizen center next, near you, don't freak out. if you can make 2 people smile, so be it, right? If you can make 20 people smile because you do it, right? So be it. It's a positive no matter what you do. I don't think there's any failure. I don't believe in that word, period. And I just don't think there's any failure with this for trying. But know that just like parties or anything else, they're not going to flock to you if you don't go live about it and you don't message and you don't do some engaging posts with questions, things. And we're going to give you some tips on that. But I just always want to remind you that we're not going to just post and pray, right? It's just never going to be a thing that's going to help. So we've got 3 minutes before I need to start watching and making sure that we've got, in fact, I'm going to go over to that screen so that I can I'll keep chatting, but that we can keep track of what's when that goes live. But while we're doing that, oh, yep, she's there already. Maybe. Hey. Uh-oh. Are we getting a repeat? Isn't this what happened to something happened like this to Hope and Ryan, didn't it? Let's try it again.
Yeah, there was a lot.
It was like you heard them do that, like.
Right.
So just so you guys, as a reminder that have just joined us, whenever Cindy is done with this, I feel like she can hear me and she can't. Whenever she's done with this, she's going to be hopping on with us. I think they must be having technical difficulties. Yeah. So we'll hang tight. And this is in the pink bubble. So if you guys aren't part of the pink bubble, make sure that you are. While they're still having trouble, one of the other things that we're going to push out alongside of, just for training's sake this month, is fundraiser training. And I know that if you're not sure if y'all can still hear us, I know that some of you have asked about that already. So just stay tuned for that as well. Yes, you can hear me. Good. We're trying to share the screen. All right. Technical glitch here. We're frozen, I think, but apparently y'all can hear us. I want you guys to come in, settle, tell us where you're coming from. Yeah, that rid of it. It's like that recorded. It did. And okay, well, while we're waiting, who has the catalog? That's another one. So y'all are all techies on Facebook. We're trying to figure out how to get that screen to stop sharing. Now we're right here. Okay. Have this again.
Okay, that's okay. The camera's off is what that means. Usually. I think there should be good.
All right, friends, thank y'all for being patient. We have a little fun presentation. Just
Yeah.
camera's on. Now I cannot get the sharing. Y'all are awesome. This is why I started a couple minutes early. Hello, Dawn. All right. Can y'all see my photo now, or do you still just see the blurry screen that says launch? Okay, perfect. All righty. You got turn. Okay, so I think it's working. I have my sidekick, Scott and Maui, with me tonight. And we thought we would just kind of walk through some different trends and things that we're seeing going on in the industry and what we are planning for with 31. So, Scott, you want to kick us off with looking at some trends that we found in a recent article?
Yeah, so one of the things that's kind of plaguing our very socially engaged and electronics engaged world, where we're all connected all the time, and a lot of brands are facing this, not just 31. A lot of the big box stores face this, stores in the mall face this. It's a thing called customer fatigue or consumer fatigue. And there was actually a recent article in the Harvard Business Review that you should go check out about consumer fatigue or customer fatigue. And they talked about some of the things that are at risk and some of the things that are challenges in today's world and what happens when consumer fatigue sets in. I know some of you have even said, I've talked to my customers and right now they just don't want a 31 product, or they don't want to partake in the outlet, or they don't want to be part of that sale or whatever. And what's happening, it's not just them and 31, it's kind of them and the whole world. The world is over.
Are you talking to me, Mike?
Communicating. And if you don't have an email box that's full of emails that you don't want to read, then you don't have an email address. We all have hundreds of emails coming in. I have brands even that send me emails 4 and 5 times a day, believe it or not.
Yeah.
And it's exhausting. But those kind of things, and just consumers being overwhelmed with choice, kind of leads to this thing called consumer fatigue. And this article goes on to talk about kind of how do we cure consumer fatigue? What do we want to focus on? And of course, you guys know, I hope you know by now, a direct selling business like 31 is a relationship business. And we say that all the time, but I don't think we always really connect what that means, what relationship means. In a relationship, you kind of have these different phases. We used to talk about how you introduce yourself to somebody. That's the first phase. Introduction is where you learn somebody's face and name. That is not where the transaction can happen. We don't sell to strangers generally. We can, But most of the time, it takes building relationships rather, it takes a long time. You have to introduce yourself, then you have to get acquainted. That's a big fat phase in the middle where we got to really get to know each other. Know what makes your customers tick. What drives them? What excites them? What's their family like? What is their life like? What do they do? And then the third phase we used to call connect, which means they're willing to, hey, I want to come buy from you. You know me, we have a relationship, I trust you. And that second thing that the Harvard Business Review article talked about, one of the things they talked about was trust. And that trust is hard. People are getting messages all day, every day. People either trust or don't trust what the government says. They trust or don't trust what media says. They trust or don't trust what that influencer on Instagram says. All of us have bought things based on what we saw on Instagram and we got it and we couldn't believe how small it was, or that it wasn't really what the ad made it look like, or it really doesn't do the thing. So trust is another big thing that's at risk and a thing that causes consumer fatigue. Then you've got experiences. We need to create experiences around our brand. Transactions are great, but with a transaction, you may sell one thermal tote, you may sell one utility tote. But when you create experiences, people get together. We used to have this when we did live in-person parties. People would get together in a room. It was an experience. And when Cindy decided that she wanted something and I didn't have it on my list, there was this experience of, oh, she's excited about that. Let me look at that again. And people would buy more because of the experience of all being together. And so we have to find ways in this new world where we're connecting like this over the internet, or where we're maybe not getting together in person. Maybe we are. Some of you still are. Or we're getting together over Facebook or whatever it is. We have to create an experience, not just an opportunity for a transaction to happen. Because when you create an opportunity for a transaction, you get just that. You get some transactions to happen. But when you create an experience, you get more than just one transaction. You get a transaction after another transaction. So relationships, trust, experiences, and then your interactions through mediums like email and website are really, really important. And this is one thing the Harvard Business Review talked about that I thought was intriguing. They said customers want to know that you know them as humans, not customers to be sold to. They want to know that you care about them, that you understand them, that they know where you are. And that means we, 31, and you, our selling consultants, need to understand exactly what they need, and we need to segment our messages and marketing in a way that fits our life. In the brand new catalog, we're so excited because we have these personas. And that's what this is about. It's about saying, you know what, if you're a caregiver, we understand you, but we want to show you how our product fits into your world of being a caregiver. And I want to challenge all of you to say, how well do you know your customers? You get to know them through relationship, you get to build trust, and you create experiences. And through that, you have these shared experiences where you get to really, really know them, and you can really start to take your 31 business and your 31 products and say, I think this may help fit your life here. And then I'll tell you this, email's great, and we all get email blasts that say, hello, Scott, blah, 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 blah. I know that everything in that email except my name was written to everybody else in the world. And we know that. And I think it really is critical that we learn to take some time and really personalize things. You can't personalize everything to every customer you have. Some of you have hundreds of customers, maybe thousands of customers, but you do have a core of customers who trust you, who you have a really good relationship with. And I would challenge you to take an extra few minutes and write really, truly personal emails to those people that you know you can count on, that talk about their life and your relationship with them, and not just email. The easiest thing in the world to do is email blast out. And I know it takes a lot of work to get everybody's addresses and all that, but that's the easy and the cheap way out. And I'll be honest with you, I am tired of getting those emails from people. I want an email that somebody sends that's meant for me. And your customers want the same thing. So how do you as a 31 consultant stand out above all the noise? Because we're in a world full of noise. I'd say, one, don't create more noise. And that's what just broadcasting the same thing to everybody and broadcasting the same thing over and over and over again without any personalization. And we're a personalization company, and I'll remind you, and broadcasting the same thing over again just creates more noise in their life. And I think you would agree. I certainly know from my experience on these computers and on these mobile devices, it's a world full of noise. I want to interact with brands that are more than noise. They stand above the fray. There's something about them that makes them understand who I am as a consumer and what I really need and what I really want. Second, I would just tell you, Stop generic email blasts to friends. That your friends don't want to hear a generic email blast from you.
Well, and the company's doing that
The company's
part
yeah.
for you, so you get to add the personal piece.
And that you are the one that adds a personal piece, because the company can send out those generic email blasts and they might remind them of 31. And they used to say in advertising, repetition is the best way to get into somebody's world. The issue is everybody's repeating 24/7 all the time, the same things. They need something unique that's meant for them. I would challenge you to replace your sales pitches with engaging experiences. Now, how do you do that? What does that look like? I think some of you are so creative and you do create these really engaging experiences. You can create that on Facebook. You can create it in live parties. You can create it by meeting everybody at the local Starbucks. You can create it so many different ways, but I want to challenge you to think creatively about how you create engaging experiences, not just a place for a transaction to happen, not just a place for people to hear your sales pitch, because we talk to our kids about this all the time, and our kids say, our friends don't want to be sold to by their friends. And that's crazy, because I want to buy from my friends. I want to support my friends. But this generation thinks a little differently than we do, because trust has become an issue with them with so much noise coming out all the time. And then I would say, find ways to get the product in front of new people. That's really hard. I know that's not easy. Especially when we had parties, a hostess would invite people. Usually at the party, you might meet 3 or 4 new people. That's harder and harder when you're not having these experiences where you get together and new people are being brought in. It's harder and harder to meet new people. But that's the way to keep your business growing, keep your business thriving, and introducing 31 to new people. And then when you meet the new people, you got to go through that whole introduce yourself to them, get acquainted with them over some time. And then eventually, hopefully, if all that goes well and goes really right, they're going to want to connect with you and connect with the brand, and they're going to want more than just one product from you. They may want to build a relationship and some loyalty with 31 and fall in love with the brand just like all of you have.
Well, and hopefully you're hearing principles that Scott's talking about. So if you're not sending out emails, maybe you're sending out DMs, or maybe you're sending out text messages, and I think that the idea really is around can you personally connect with those really important customers? I know some of you have VIP groups, and that VIP member is a very important person, right? And so just trying to think of how can you truly think about who are those very important people who are shopping from you, and how can you connect with them? So I wanted to talk a little bit kind of around the customer vision as we launched 2024. And Scott, you've already mentioned a couple of things, but we really wanted to make sure our products this season were tailored for your customers. We really went back and we thought about those personas. We thought about who are our key customers. We've always had so many teachers. We've always had so many caregivers in healthcare, whether it's nurses or, everybody that works in the hospitals. They love our bags. So we went back and really tried to think through what are those products that those customers need. And so then we are thinking about how do we engage with those valued customers who already love us. We want all the customers who have shopped from us for 20 years to still love us and to still feel seen. But then we do want to meet new customers, like you said, Scott. And so really trying to think about how are you doing that in your business? But if your business is not the home parties like they used to be, then how can you think about reaching those new customers? And then for us, the home office is committed to investing in more videos so that your customers can see our products, so that they can see the culture and feel who we are at 31. So we're going to be creating more videos that'll be hosted on YouTube. I'll be on some of those. Angel will be on some of those. Stacy, our Chief Product Officer, will be on some of those. And then we will be talking about Pinterest as well. We think our products are perfect for Pinterest, and so we have a strategy that we really want to expand beyond just Facebook and Instagram. But I know some of you already love Pinterest, and we do think that we have a presence to be able to show how to organize, how to get your kids to soccer with all the things, right? And so really kind of having some of those selling videos will be really important for your customers. And then making sure that we're delivering those product solutions, not just the one product, but those solutions that work really hard. Then whenever we think about our consultants, we are focused on helping you to connect, helping you to engage, and giving you tailored solutions that you can give to your customers. So making sure that we are doing those things that Scott just talked about. We want to give you the resources and tools to be able to connect and engage with your customers. We also want to make sure that we're offering consistent monthly rewards. So hopefully you've seen it, but I'll go over it in just a minute. That $500 level is going to be amazing. It's every single month. It is so doable for anyone to be able to join, hit that $500 personal volume level to unlock that reward. And then we have all the perks. I'll go over those again. I know some of you have already seen them, but they are worth shouting over tonight. And we're super excited about all the perks that we have for you. Whether you are a consultant that has been with us for 15 years or 2 days, whether you want to shop or whether you want to earn some money. In 2024, we have new ways to unlock some of those rewards. And then we want to make sure that you have great reasons to share our opportunity because it is such a great opportunity. So I know some of you love an at a glance, and this is a visual at a glance of what your insiders can get for the month of January, what your customers can get for the month of January, and then for our consultants. And I'm going to spend most of the time on our consultants tonight because that is all of you. You're the audience that we are here to chat with tonight. So we mentioned that $500 earning level, and this is such a great level for everyone. All of our new consultants to everyone who's been with us and active for years and years, and you will be able to unlock some free products. So for January, hopefully you've seen it, but this is our canvas small square tote. It's brand new. Some of you who have been with us before remember that demi bag, and this is the ultimate update to that demi bag. It is so beautiful. It is canvas. It is such a great kind of crossbody bag or tote, and then that mini Benjamins. All about the Benjamin. It's such a great little size that you are going to love and your customers are going to love it. So here the value is in Canada and US. All right, I want to make sure that all of you know about all the perks that we have for you in 2024. So yes, we still have all of our party perks, our insiders we still love. We want to reward them with all of their exclusive products, their free credits, and their half-off items. But then we want to make sure that someone can come in and share their website to any of their friends and family. So maybe they are not interested in doing the party, like you said, Scott, like our kids may not want to do the party, you know, and you may have a new consultant that may not want to do the party and go through setting up the party links and things like that. They want to run their business just through their website and going on social media. So if someone places a retail order, we want to give her perks as well. And then some people just want to shop with us and they want to have all the 31 products and they want them at a discount and they want to consistently be a part of the 31 community. They love the sisterhood, they love the products, and maybe they're not just trying to run their business to be able to make lots of income or to earn trips and things like that. So maybe they truly want to be able to have these new products and to get them at a really great discount. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about retail on the left here. You are going to get 5% back on all your retail orders through a product credit. That is on top of your 25% commissions. So you always get your 25% commissions on retail orders, but now we're going to give you 5% in product credits. And guess what? Those product credits can now be used in your marketplace order type. So marketplace is what I want to talk to next on the right of the screen. And this is where you as a consultant, only consultants, get to shop with 40% off. So if you've got a fundraiser, if you just want to shop with your friends and family, or if you have a vendor event, this is a great way for you to be able to purchase any products at 40% off. Now, Marketplace does not have commissions because you're already getting that really deep discount. But like I just mentioned, your retail rewards, those product credits, can now be used in the marketplace. So that means those product credits go even further because you're getting 40% off that retail catalog price and you get to use your product credits. So such a great deal for anyone who wants flexibility around how they run their business. All right, I have to talk about product. Scott, you've been helping me do some videos with some of the product. It looks really great. This wearable utility collection, we have the large utility and the deluxe utility, and that wearable style is so great. These graphics are on TOT. So I just wanted to kind of give you a little bit of a glimpse on what is out there on TOT. The team does such a great job to be able to show, you know, some of the tips. So if you don't have these products in your hands, but you want to talk about them, then you can talk about, there's the buckle closure at the top of your wearable deluxe. It has a hard bottom. It has great long handles. Or this new Let's Lunch cooler, it has antimicrobial fabric. That means for our nurses and teachers, it has this coating to where it helps with keeping germs off. You can wipe it away and you don't have to worry about so many germs going home with you from the classroom or from the healthcare place that you're working at. So those are little details that you can learn more about whenever you download some of these great little graphics, or you can share these at your parties, or you can share these with some of your customers. Now, I have to make sure all of you have gone out there and taken our 31 Solutions quiz. And if you have taken it, you're going to love it. But what I really want you to do is have all of your customers take this quiz. Scott, you were talking about engaging and knowing who our customers are. And this is a great way to engage. So if I were a consultant, I would be like DMing someone and say, hey, take this great little quiz and let me know that your organizing personality. So you want her to tell you what her organizing personality is, because you're not going to get any kind of pop-up or anything feedback electronically. So she has to tell you. So let's say she says, oh my goodness, I'm the work to weekender. Or she says, oh, I'm the caregiver. She tells you what the quiz says. So she's doing this fun interactive quiz, and you can do this with your VIPs, your guests, your family and friends, and ask them to share what their organizing personality is. Then guess what? You can go on to TOT. This graphic on the left is what you're looking for. So whenever you go on to TOT and you are searching for how to personalize your experience, you're engaging with the customer, and this is a great way to personalize. So we have here, choose the practical warrior. So here's your look.
It just was.
Okay, I'm sorry that you guys couldn't hear it. Quiz, that's what I was just looking at. Yep, homepage of your website. I was just looking at that. Were there any other questions that I missed? And I'm gonna check and see. We'll give Cindy a breather. I'm sure she's gotta, hopefully she gets on shortly. Okay, so another food for thought while we're waiting for her is so some questions that I had, I mean, because they don't have the magic answers either. And I kind of threw out some things just talking about, needing to use pictures of yourself, needing to go live. Those are ways that they're going to see and hear and get to know you, which is super duper important. But I know it's still not hitting on that actual relationship piece. So some things that came to my mind, the first one was, and I know this isn't going to be for everyone, this is going to be, for some people, what could we do with things like this with Zoom? Now, before we go into that, I know some of you are teachers and your jobs are like, I don't like Zooms, right? Like I see Tracy's face perking up. I know Heather wants to shake her. Like, I get that. I get that for some of you, you're like, I don't want to spend any more time on Zoom than I have to. I have like COVID PSTD with Zooms. Like, I totally get that. But that is not everyone. Okay, there is a whole, there is a whole world out there for some of us we aren't in that, right? So for me, like I've played bingo and I've done some fun things on Zoom, and to be honest, people show up, and it's kind of shame on me that I'm not doing it because I didn't have to be a teacher and do all the meetings and teach kids and all the things. So what else besides just Zoom? Obviously, in person, we know is still a possibility. I don't want you to throw that out the door, but there's no, I'm not here to be unrealistic and say it's going to be like it was before 2020 either, right? Like having home parties is going to look different. There's going to be different people, restaurant parties, meeting up, going different places. But does anybody have any other ideas, or even does what I'm saying with Zoom make you think of, oh my gosh, I could be doing this on Zoom? Does anybody have anything that comes to mind? And feel free to unmute if you do. I get it. A lot of you are like, yep, done with Zooming. Totally get it.
I actually have one of my VIPs that is wanting as many of our members in my VIP group to get together in person this spring and just kind of have an in-person VIP party.
Yep.
I've not offered a Zoom. I guess I don't really know how to set it up. I've only just joined in when I have them at work and, when you do them. But I think that it's a great idea. I mean, they're kind of all over the state. And then, of course, I have some that are out of state. But, a lot of my regular customers are fairly local. And I think that they would love it. And, we were coming up with all sorts of ideas. She really should be a consultant. I call her my assistant because she'll post videos of her products. She's amazing. Anyway, and you guys probably, Shelly Maroon, she's in a lot of our group stuff and she wins all the participation stuff and she's amazing. Anyway, yeah, so we were thinking, well, you know what, if they bring a friend, they'll get in the drawing to win a prize. And so, yeah, I'm trying to come up with something. A lot of them are snowbirds, so I have to wait until later in the spring when they come back from Florida or Arizona. But that's something that I'm going to try and make that happen. I don't know where I'm going to be able to do it, if I can rent a little space somewhere, but instead of a Zoom, or maybe we can even, for those of us that are in person, we can Zoom in the rest of them that want to join in and participate too. So that's on my agenda for 2024.
I love it. I love the idea. I think Cindy, oh, we had her and then we lost her.
I'm here.
She is here. I do hear her. Oh yeah, you're over in the corner. That's why she moved. So thank you, Heather, for sharing that. Cindy, we were just kind of piggybacking. We just watched you live. So we were just piggybacking ideas of in-person versus Zoom. And we know a lot of teachers have PTSD with Zoom, but we were just talking about different ways that we knew we could engage more in person and building relationships. So I'll let you have the floor, but that was where we were at. And we were holding our breath for you and all the things while the technical difficulties, because we've all been there. So, and you're human too.
I think that, yeah, no, I didn't really. I think I was trying to run it once Facebook popped up and I was trying to play on the Facebook screen versus the Zoom. And I was like, okay. But
It worked.
anyways, I'm like, y'all do this all the time. I don't do this all the time. But anyways, it's all good. So we made it. The playback's is there a way I can edit a playback on Facebook?
I don't, the way you did it, probably not. That's all right. It'll give everybody a fun little chuckle.
Really, they can slide their little slider over if they want to watch it. Oh, well. Thank you guys for popping in, and Happy New Year. Thanks, Danielle, for inviting me to join. I know Danielle has some really exciting goals herself and for all of you. And so she's working really hard just on your different clubs you've got. I know that you guys have some rock stars out there. And so I'm just really excited for all that you have going on. So, Danny, I don't know if there's certain things you want me to kind of piggyback on. I know that y'all are doing some give back and some clubs. I know that you were sharing like some of your Valentine's clubs and fundraisers and things like that. So have y'all already had all those little conversations and chit chats, or do we want to spend a few minutes on sharing ideas around those?
We did. Tracy, one of our directors, yep, we talked about, we're doing the sponsors with the give backs. We didn't get into our fundraisers a ton, but they know there's a training coming for that. So yeah, we met before you were on and kind of quickly ran through all the $500 clubs. So everybody here may or may not want to be in the club, but we're explaining how you just showed us that 31 is going to be doing, something for $500 every month and some extra little fun things that we're doing with connected contacts and too. So you can have the floor with goal setting, anything that you want to do based on all of that stuff. So.
All right. Well, I will just tell you that I think that we all, have these goals in every new year. And if some of us have like word of the year, and at some point, it's just kind of like, I feel like trying to create some of those habits of just accountability and consistency is almost just as important as setting the goals. And so hopefully you've already been thinking about like what goals you want to accomplish, but I would just want to add in like, what are some of those ways that you want to be consistent and hold yourself accountable? So what are those new habits, whether it is, taking 10 minutes before you go to bed, or whether it is checking your back office or TOT, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, whether it is setting a certain date that you want to, focus on your connected contacts. I would say that those habits, and there's so many books out there, I don't take it to the extreme, but I do have those habits. And I think that's been one thing that's helped me to reach some big goals. So whether you do want to travel on one of the incentive trips, whether you just want that goal of $500 every single month, just, it's not going to happen. We all tell our kids, like, you're not going to make an A on that test, without studying. And so like even helping, think through what are those ways we're going to show up in our business consistently are going to be how you're going to consistently reach your goals. So I would love to just brainstorm if there's anyone that already has some of these consistency habits that you would want to kind of share with the group, because I think that that is something that can really be helpful. And then I would also love to know if any of you guys kind of are connected from an accountability, like texting, and I know that you can have like once a month or, team meetings and things like that. But I do feel like there's some daily habits or daily groups or daily friends that you kind of chat with. I mean, I know Angie Myers and I we chat every day. It doesn't matter if it's a holiday or not. We're just always chatting and just kind of working together on sales and things like that. So I would just love to hear, like, what are you guys doing to help with, consistently those habits of reaching goals? Anyone want to share? Because I know there's some big players here. Danielle's already been bragging on y'all.
I can share when
Okay.
Hey, Cindy. I know that, I don't know, I've been away from my business for a while, so I'm basically starting over. With that being said, I have been working on habits. So there's two things. I changed my happy planner. Instead of having each month in there, I have a tab in my happy planner 1 through 31. And it's not something new, but at the end of the month or at the beginning of the new month, there's a checklist that I put in for every single day. I'm a checklist person. I like to check things off my list. And then it's one of those movable ones. So then I have my connected contacts that I just move from day to day to day. It's very effective if I do it. So that's one way. I also have found this pretty sweet app called Habit Nest. You have to pay for it, but it's everything I've been looking for as far as an app goes with habits. So those are the two things that I'm trying to implement.
Thank you. Yeah, I was going to ask habit what, Heather, or put it in the chat maybe so everybody can. Who else? Who else has some really good habits that you already have in place, or some that you used to do that you want to start doing again? Yeah. Hi, Tracy.
Hey.
Good to see you.
Happy New Year. I just I started this a little while ago, and it has helped me continue to grow my business. And I know some of y'all are newer here. Some of you guys are OGs like me, but I am consistent with daily posts to my VIP group, but I also go live every week. And I last year added YouTube to my repertoire, which I thought, no way in the world. When I started 5 years ago, first lives were not a thing. I was not doing them. But they boomed my business. And it really, really made a huge impact. They could see me loving on products. They could see me just talking about them and sharing them, because at that time we couldn't be together. And so that really, really helped them. But then they could also learn a lot about my personality because of how I talk and just who I am in general. But it built a lot of trust with between myself and my VIPs in my group. And then I kept that in my parties as well. I go live one night in my party, and it is a genuine live. I don't record it. It's not something that I do at the beginning of the season and let it run in each party. It's a genuine, I'm live. And that really, really helps. That's just one habit that I have. Heather, I really want you to send me that link for that app. I need more good habits. I have several that they're just not helping me at this moment in time. And so I would love to pick up anything else that will help me.
So Tracy, you said YouTube even, so you go live in your VIP group, but then you also are going live on YouTube, right? And
yeah, well, it streams to both places.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So your YouTube though is public.
It is.
So what is so fascinating, and I could have talked about this even in my live or whatever, but whenever we have our VIP Facebook groups, those are like closed little groups that are like, we're a little clique and nobody else can get in, and we're not talking to anybody unless you're in our VIP group. Whenever you post on YouTube, it is actually a search engine. So it is just like Google. And whenever you are out there posting and you are talking about soccer, you're talking about whatever it is, and this sports or that sports, or going to the grocery store, it actually hears you and it starts like picking up on your keywords. And what's fascinating, and I don't know like how strategic you get, but if you all want to start doing something with YouTube or with even Pinterest is another search engine, I would say find like 10 or 15 keywords that you want to be known for and repeat those over and over, because then that search engine will actually start to pick up and say, oh my goodness, if someone's, grocery shopping or looking for grocery bags, then I'm going to, pop up Tracy's video over here because she talks about groceries like all the time. Like she is the grocery lady. And so yes. And so then it pops up, and that is a way to get new customers. So many of us are not sure of how to get new customers, but I think it's because we have created these little VIP groups and there are these closed doors, like nobody else is allowed in. And we think that we're like join my VIP group, but we just don't have that funnel. We don't have enough people and enough exposure. And so I'm super excited to hear you mention that your business boomed once you started going live on YouTube, because it is those new customers that you're getting, that people that are not going live in public settings, they just don't have that way to bring in new people.
Right. TikTok frightens me, but it's next.
No, it frightens me too, but I'm like, we have to, if we're going to get that next generation, we have to. And so we're looking at that. I didn't want to actually mention it in front of everyone because there's some people that are like anti-TikTok. So I didn't want to make anybody upset tonight.
And Instagram, all of it, it's others. There's just all these different avenues you can get. You're right. I know some people are fussy about TikTok. I'm just like, is it going to help me grow my business?
Right.
I'm good for it,
Well, and is it going to introduce us to people that need our opportunity, or that need a friend, or that need the fun, or that need the pink bubble community? And so we have to realize that if we put ourselves out there, then people that actually need to be a part of our community can find themselves and find us. So
yeah, absolutely.
I agree. Beware of the creepers. Totally.
Yes. Those are frightening. No
Yeah.
matter where you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I went on a soapbox there. Sorry. Who else has little accountability or ways that you're consistent habits?
I'm gonna make Tammy go in a second, but I'm gonna brag on, I didn't do any of my top stuff really quick, and I just want to show that the proof is in the pudding with Tracy, that she is just not talking the talk. She is walking the, like, she already knows because she helped pull the numbers for me because her daughter's my assistant, but I'm still gonna brag about her in front of all of you guys. So I looked at the, Cindy had encouraged me, our EDs and above, to kind of look at our last 6 months as a snapshot as we start a new catalog. So I did pull those reports. I know some of you are newer than that, and that's okay. But Tracy, you're going to see us at the top of these lists, and she's been consistently doing this for more than 6 months is the thing. So she had started, how long ago did you start with your Thursdays live versus your YouTube? Just to give everybody an idea. Thursday live's been going on for a year or two.
Oh, more than that.
Yeah.
No, more than that.
Yep. And then what about picking up the YouTube part of it?
I picked up YouTube in October last year.
Okay.
And I went from 14 subscribers, which were all my team members, by the way, today I have 228. So it's one of those things where it's just like, it just opens you up to everything. Yep. People are interested in checking it out. So, and
I've heard her literally say, people are finding her on YouTube. Those are not just 212 friends. Like, those are people who are finding her. In addition to, she's already going live at the same time in her customer group. I want to make sure that.
Yeah. They shop, they join my team. They do all the things. They host parties with me. Yep.
Yep. And they literally say, hey, I saw this and I love your personality and you're so much fun, right? So just a shout out, this is our entire lineage. Highest in PV was Tracy. She had $17,597 the last 6 months. Yes, yes, yes. Highest in parties was Tammy Brinker with 28. So that's why I'm going to make her pick. I'm going to pick on her because she's clearly partying. Topping sponsors again was Tracy with 17. Shannon, who's not on though, had 12, and Gresha had 10. So I like I said, I wanted to brag on her already about how perfect of timing to show that, like, I'm not doing that either, you guys. Like, I'm holding my feet to the fire. I've been saying it for a while that, like, I need to follow her lead, and I am. I really want to go consistently in my in my customer group, in the parties, all the things. So if you build it, they will come. That was my whole point of showing the months too. It's not going to happen overnight, but you've got to start somewhere, and it will get easier also. Okay, Tammy, I'm going to hand the mic over to you. Let's talk about, what are you doing? What's consistent to get all those parties, girl? Uh-oh, she froze. There she is.
Asking. That's the biggest thing, is asking and getting all of those no's and not giving up. And that's what I'm trying to tell my team right now is don't give up. Get used to those no's, but just keep pushing through and moving on and ask. I do those 4 questions in my party religiously. And if they don't answer, if they've seen the question, I go back and I say, like, just following up, I keep all of my in my phone, so that way notebook. I'm famous for losing things. So I keep all of my notes in my phone. I have parties. I've got follow up with some dates. I follow up with in January. So I will tell you, New Year's Eve with all of my for covers. Opportunity. Then New Year's Day, just everything I And I mean, I just can't preach enough, just asking. And then if you tell me that they don't have anyone else to ask, well, who'd you ask? Did you ask in your parties? Go back to previous parties and ask them. I also go through my previous one thing that I did, and I told my team is like for November, I went through my previous November and wrote down previous goals for November. Asked them to party again. Went through December through those previous hostesses, asked them again, and just kind of did all that to get past hostesses. For me, do that.
So Tammy, you were breaking up just a little bit, but I think that we definitely heard the message of your asking. And then I love that you're actually pulling specific people and talking to them. And that's what I was even talking with Danielle and some of the executive directors about, is like, who are those go-to people? And then Scott was mentioning it a while ago that yes, if you will connect with them personally and ask them personally, and you're not just putting out some kind of broadcast message on your VIP group and asking, okay, who wants to shop an outlet? I mean, yes, there's times where you can ask who wants to shop an outlet, but even like treating people like, okay, I wanted to let you know before I even posted in my VIP group, like they feel like that you actually appreciate them and you wanted to give them heads up that this is going to be going live, And so I think that there's all kinds of ways to make your customers feel special. And like you said, even your prior hostesses, and just to let them know that, oh my goodness, you were such a fantastic hostess like last October, and you had so many great friends and your party was so great. I just wanted you to, or I wanted to make sure that you knew that we have a new catalog out and all the things that 31 has going on right now. And just even reaching out to those individuals, I do think makes a difference. And you're not just doing it with one or two. It sounds like that you're doing it with a lot. And you mentioned you're getting a lot of no's. So congratulations. It's definitely showing. And it's work. I do think that people, we have to remember that whenever we did home parties, we would drive 45 minutes. We would get there 30 minutes early, 45 minutes early. We would do a party for 2 hours or whatnot. Then we would pack up for 30 minutes and then drive another 45 minutes home. Like we were literally gone 3 to 4 hours. And so trying to think through, how are we spending those 3 to 4 hours in our business right now? And, getting the same results. We cannot expect to get the same results that we were getting whenever we were home partying if we're only spending 5 or 10 minutes. 3 to 4 hours can be spread throughout a week or 5 days, or if you want to work your business Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, think about how you're going to do an hour and be very focused, not just scrolling. But yeah, creating some of those habits of what is that power hour? What are those things of how you're going to show up? Any other habits that someone has that y'all want to share real quick, or any other ideas that you've gotten on the call so far that you want to implement? Feel free to throw them into the chat. And then I would just say, just breaking it down. So I don't know how many of you know, like how close you are to some of your big goals or your ribbon goals or trip goals and things like that. But even just trying to break those down and then communicating with someone. So whether that is your leader, whether that is your spouse or significant other, whoever it is, just communicating those goals with them, I will say is also very, 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 very helpful. Like I mentioned, Angie and we have specific daily goals at the home office, and we chat about those goals every single day. If we meet them, we're like celebrating and high-fiving. If we don't meet them, we're like, oh no, like what happened? What could we have done differently? And Scott knows those goals. He knows if whenever I look every morning and get my little, email on how we did. He knows, and sometimes I'm not sure he likes to walk with me because I always talk about those goals and what we can do and either da, 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 da. And so just, having those people that you're surrounding yourself with that you can talk about business. I don't think you have to talk about business all the time. Scott would be like rolling his eyes if I talked about it all the time, but it is usually, whenever I have those goals and, we used to talk about staying up and on the last day of the month or whatnot, but even, how do you check in? Are you checking in once a week or if it's not daily, and making those little moments of, yes, here's my weekly goals, or here's what I'm hoping for the month, and you're not celebrating until your team is kind of hitting those team volume goals and things like that. I love the 500 Club just because it is a way for us to celebrate people to reach 500. And so if you've got a team, how many of your team members are you really trying to get to hit that 500 club? And if you've got 10 people trying to hit that $500 club, then you are hitting leader requirements, no problem at all. And so really just thinking through, how do you set those goals of either 5 people hitting 500, 10 people hitting 500, or even if you're a new consultant or someone new to the business, how are you hitting that 500 and starting with yourself and one other friend or one other teammate? So just kind of breaking it down. There's no goals too small or too big, and just trying to figure out what's right for you, and then understanding what it unlocks for you, and kind of how it impacts your why and what it is that you're working towards. And Scott and I still talk about those things that we're working towards and celebrating those along the way. Oh, that's fun. Missy's calling from Rome.
Yes, Heather, I celebrated her earlier. I was like, you're really here in the middle of the night
amazing.
in Rome. Yes, we can see her. Her hubby's sleeping next to her.
Oh, so fun.
Yes.
That's exciting. All right. Anything else you guys want to chat about? I know y'all been on for a while, so I want to be respectful of your time. But any questions y'all have for me? Anything else, Danielle?
It was great, but she's here. Don't be afraid. Who's got a question? I think we've had an hour and a half of good stuff listening to all the things. I do want to get a picture too. So if you want your face in the picture, make sure. And Tracy, were you going to say something? So everybody's getting their pictures on. Okay. Anybody else have a question? Make sure to unmute. There's Cynthia, our gracious girl from December.
Oh, fun. Congrats.
Okay, ladies, smile. I'll get a couple just to be sure. Oh, we almost see it. There you go, Missy, in the dark. In Rome, so jealous. Happy New Year, everyone. Thank you so much, Cindy, for coming. Thank you for listening to me and Tracy and some of your other leaders boost this $500 club and the idea of all of that for this entire year, let alone this season. We're really, really excited. So really, really appreciate all of you. Have a great night, you guys.
Happy New Year.